Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. I have a dream.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
December 7th, 1941.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
A date which will live in infamy.
Oh, Nazi buildings down. Well, hear all of us soon.
Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're ready to go.
Okay. Sorry.
We have a
right,
dream.
It's fine, but Josh said that I froze. All right, it's all good. Guys, welcome back to High History. I'm your host, Blaise G. You can follow me at Blaise G Comedy. You can also look up the other shows on the network at droptent.com. There's a bunch of them. They're all good. I haven't listened to all of them, but the ones I have, I really like. Today, my guest is Josh Witherspoon, right?
Josh Dweh, but it's all good.
Wait, on Facebook it says Witherspoon, does it not?
Yeah, it does, but that's like alternate like last name because I switch schools a lot and like they used to mess up my data. Yeah, but it's all good, bro.
All right,
Everybody
so today my guest is Josh. Josh is a stand-up comedian. He's really funny. Have we ever done a show together? I know I've seen you do stand-up a bunch of times. But so, dude, COVID, crazy times.
Bro, this shit is beyond crazy, man.
It is crazy. And everyone's on Facebook going crazy. And that's actually how this sort of podcast came to fruition, is we were arguing against, were we arguing, or was I just going off on your Facebook? I can't remember. Was it just me saying shit?
Nah, it was the Confederate flag argument. You know,
that's right.
Man provided much needed detail and stuff, you know, because you know your thing, history. So
Yeah, right, exactly. So today we're going to be talking about like slavery, just the civil rights movement, all the sort of black movement in this country, I guess you could say. So what's your take, first of all, if someone says racism doesn't exist today, which is a common thing that I hear from primarily white people?
First of all, they're completely wrong. Like racism is I'm gonna say even more prevalent right now, you know, because you hear more voices. So now you're getting way more different perspectives. Like even in cultures, like my girl's Latino and stuff, and she's like, because I'm a lighter Latina, they treat me even different compared to like the darker Latinas.
Yeah, and if you cheat on her, she'll stab you.
Oh yeah, that's a good
yeah, that's facts. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's still around, but I do hear that as a common thing. Like, how do you personally feel when someone says, which I've heard, not necessarily heard, but I've read on Facebook a lot, is that slavery wasn't that long ago. Or I'm sorry, slavery was a long time ago. That's how I feel about it. Slavery wasn't that long ago, but people feel that it was a long time ago and you need to let it go. What is something that you would, I don't know, say to those people with no teeth?
If slavery was so long ago, why are we still feeling the effects right now?
That's a great question.
That's like the whole fucking debate right there. You know, if it was that long ago, then we would have been, Black Wall Street would have been a thing right now. You know, it would have took us so long to get an Obama, you know?
Yeah. Obama was great, dude. What an eloquent speaker. But, dude, no. So what, you know, you see that argument a lot of times that slavery was a long time ago. But I brought this up to you previously. My argument to that is slavery ended when the Civil War ended, technically, but in practice, it didn't. You know, we were talking about this, like Jim Crow laws, all those things. Evan, actually, I sent you that picture of when the Confederate statues were erected. Right. Because a lot of people say this is about our heritage. But if you look at that chart, it's actually around whenever some sort of civil rights movement would start. That's when they would start erecting Confederate statues. So what's your take on Confederate statues in general, right? Because there's a lot of controversy in this country right now, whether or not like they should even exist or what we should do with them now.
I think personally, like, you know, if you want to say it's part of your history, fine. Educate yourself on that, but don't make it like a thing where everyone else can see the statues don't need to be like existing. Like even there's probably people right now that support Hitler views in Germany, right? But
for sure.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. They're on the internet, yes.
Or a private server.
No, I've played regular Call of Duty with these people.
Dude, you ever play Battlefield and you see like the emblem and it's a swastika and you're like, oh, you're one of these motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah, well, my friend's system, I don't own a game system. But
I only play as Germany. Like, all right, we get it.
Cool, you lost, but you're trying to win now. You lost before.
Yeah. You wave with your hand open, not up. All right, pussy? Damn.
Yo, y'all got so invested in this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Nah, but it's just like the same thing. Like Germany has enough respect. Like, yeah, we're not like waving a Nazi flag. We're not even
actually. It's illegal to have any of that shit, or even it's way illegal to display it.
They actually take it out of video games too. Like if you're gonna release a game in Germany, they make an edited version. Like even Wolfenstein, where it's about killing Nazis. There's no
and
Nazi symbols in it at all.
Which is a World War II game. Yeah,
they took it right out. Yeah. They're real serious.
Good,
I mean, which is good because it's like a that's like a black mark on your
symbol.
On your,
unfortunately,
past.
Because it's like the Indian peace symbol.
It was
but
when
that
it's
symbol
kind of skewed to the side.
Perpetrates hate in people's mind, sort of like the Confederate flag.
So let me ask y'all a question. Why do y'all think America in general is like hesitant to like adopt those philosophies of banning the Confederate flag?
I think it's just the number of people that are about that. It's sort of you can't just. I mean, I would personally just say like you should just make it so no one can have it because, in my opinion, the Confederate flag is treasonous.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that a Nazi Germany, or a Nazi flag would be treasonous in Germany. The same way here, it's like you guys seceded, we beat you, just be a part of our thing, let that shit go, right? And a lot of people, like you were saying, is like, oh, it's a part of my heritage. It's like, we're in Pennsylvania.
Right. What heritage is that part of?
Yeah,
what stand for? Like,
like, what are you even talking about? Like the South will rise again in New Hope? Fuck out of here, bro.
Shut your Dutch ass up. Like, get the hell out of here, dude. Go make some bread, stupid. Like, bruh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not to single out Jersey, but because I wrestled and stuff, and like anytime I go to Jersey or tournaments, like you'll see at least 5 Confederate flags. You're like, what the fuck, New Jersey?
Dude,
like,
that's what Jersey is. Jersey's the beach, and then it's a bunch of hicks in the middle.
That's be Italians.
Yeah, for some reason it's like the South right in the middle of Jersey, and I don't get it. But so what I was gonna say, or I brought this up to you, is actually that people say it's a part of my heritage, and even if you're from the South and people are like, my great grandfather fought in the war, like I understand that you feel pride that like your great grandfather was a part of history per se, but he was on the wrong side of history,
right?
And I keep saying this, the top 1% of white landowners, in the South convinced all the poor white dudes that like, oh, you should like fight for me and my, because that's really what the Civil War is. It's a bunch of like rich ass dudes with slaves saying like, I want free labor. So let's not lose our quote unquote way of life. You understand? So then they convince all the poor white people that they're better than the slaves. But I hopefully in retrospect, if we're looking back at this, we can say that the poor white people and the slaves were equals in a way of like they both were getting fucked.
And you can see Trump kind of adopting that same philosophy now, like, and using that to get his followers, Basically, like, we're going to get back our jobs. And the only reason they lost their jobs isn't because, like, the immigrants took it. It's just, like, the world got educated, and now we're not using coal no more. Now we're like, using other resources.
That and, a immigrant will do the same job for, like, 60% less.
Mm-hmm.
And people are... If we're going on that topic real quick, people always say like immigrants are taking my job. Fuck the immigrants. But it's like you should really actually if they're illegal, you should be mad at the person who hired them, not the person looking for the opportunity.
Right, but they ain't gonna get mad at the person that hired them because, if we're being honest, that person's white. Like, you ain't gonna get mad.
It's white America, dude. Come on.
Yeah. And
then when those, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say another flip side about like that whole Confederate flag thing is a part of our history, right? Like, there's slaves that fought in that Confederate like war, you know. But you don't see like black people saying like, well, since my ancestors was here trying to be a slave this month, like, you know, be a slave flag. Like,
I've seen a few videos of black dudes from the South with Confederate flags, actually. And they always say, like, what you're talking about. Like, my great-grandfather fought in this war. It's like, yeah, but as a free man? Yeah, I think that the history got skewed for them. You understand? Like, someone lied to them and said, like, yeah, your great-grandfather was free, but he wasn't. He was forced to do it.
Right. You know, everybody looked at it. That was like the only way for survival. They knew slavery, like some of the slaves that fought in there, they was like, all right, when slavery's over, like, there's no guarantee we got housing or any of that shit. So let me just fight the master.
Exactly. So, right. So, fuck, I lost my train of thought right there. But I had another question. But anyway.
The high portion.
Yeah, I know, dude. Fuck, yeah, I'm pretty, you know. You smoke, don't you?
Occasionally, you know.
Occasionally?
Like at night after stand-up shows.
Yes, right. Dude, how much does it suck? Like, I haven't done stand-up in a month and a half, I think.
Yeah, for me, it just was like corny because I was like coming back from Maine, and, you know, I had a few gigs up there, and I was supposed to be doing Broadway.
Dude, you're killing it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Dude, I think I watched you at the Pop, and you're a killer, dude. I love your shit.
Thanks, Blaise. I love your shit just as much, bro. All you guys, like, seriously.
Blaise G comedy right here. There we go. Woo.
Yeah. Dude, I really like personally pushing the envelope. I want to see as like what I can get away with, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just like a piece of comedy. It's just like, to me anyway. Like, do you feel like you push some limits?
It's like different, right? Like, if I push a limit, like, because I'm black or whatever, I got that bias in my favor. So more people be like, okay, like, white girl, like, you know, let's just see where you're going.
That's true.
Whereas you push a limit, you need to have the NAACP stamp your back for them to be like, okay.
I know. Actually, I have this joke about Rosa Parks, and the joke is about that they made a Rosa Parks like doll that you can play with.
Right.
So the joke is like, you know, that's fun, that's progressive, that's awesome, I'm down for that. But like, what if, you know, Ken and Barbie, you know, Ken pulls up, he's like, Barbie, let's go to the mall, and she's like, I'm with my friend Rosa, and Ken's like, Rosa, hop in the back, and it's like, whoa, you know?
Yeah, and to me, that's like an imaginary like setting. So therefore, people shouldn't even be like, "Whoa, you can't say that." It's more like
exactly
follow the train of thought. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's like getting mad at a Kermit the Frog fucking comment. Like, bruh, you're talking about toys right now.
Actually, what I think is because I told somebody that joke, and they were like, "Oh, I don't even know who Rosa Parks is," but then I told them, so it's almost like, "Oh shit, I might be educating people on like kind of." The civil rights movement, dude, because if you think about like the simplicity of the action of saying I'm not giving up my bus seat, but the courage to do that, in that, like a lot of people might be like, dude, that's not even it's like maybe not now, right? But when it happened, it most certainly was. She got arrested for doing that. Imagine that.
Arrested for just standing up for your human right. Like, that's bizarre.
Like, it's always weird to like that, and that's what I keep saying about the whole slavery thing is people say slavery was a long time ago. It's like, don't you remember separate but equal? Like, what was that bullshit? Do you guys not want to win a football state championship or what?
See, Blaise, that's whoa.
Yo, what do you mean? It's like you guys are better. Like, you're better at sports. Like, fucking, why would you not want that?
Well, when you got us fucking bodybuilding for the past 300 years, you know.
Exactly.
Right, running away and bodybuilding for the last 300 years. What the fuck did you expect? You goddamn it! Like, what?
Right.
We're stupid here.
Like, that's
more
the
like
NFL.
Yeah, exactly, dude. No, I mean my my favorite player of all time in the NFL is Michael Vick.
Okay, I fuck with that.
Yeah, I like how I like his story of like, you know, he came from like the hood, he made a mistake, he got redemption. You know, he redeemed himself. Like that's like that's such a great story. In my opinion, I have like 3 Michael Vick Stitch jerseys. That's how much I like that guy. And Brian, dude, all my favorite NFL athletes are all black.
I want to say rest in peace to all the New York Giants fans that killed themselves after that Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson leg coming in.
yeah. Miracle at the Meadowlands #2. Yes, dude. You know what's funny is I watched that game with a Giants fan.
Really?
Yes, dude. And when it was like 31 to what, like 14, 20, whatever it was, I was like, fuck, this game's over. And he was like, dude, don't say that, because not like, you know, I hope you guys win, but like, you know, there's a lot of time left. And I'm like, no fucking way, dude. And then they came back and won that shit. Dude, Deshaun Jackson's actually one of my favorite athletes of all time.
Hell yeah, bro. He had a standout career at Kyle, and then like what he's doing now, and he's going to be healthy next year. Oh, my God. Yes. Bro, did you see the draft?
Some of it. I mean, it's weird to watch it kind of like in quarantine.
Yeah, I feel that shit.
Got a wide receiver, though, for the Eagles. Speedster, little speedster.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm serious.
Who's that?
My parents. My parents. Dude, yeah, go. They're going to do heroin. No, you're not? We know how you white people like heroin. Get out of here.
This is good for the podcast. This is good for the podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's why, dude. I kept going like, dude. I was going like this, like, don't come over here. And then, you know, you're like, I'm like, dude, Dad, I'm gonna shave your mustache when you're asleep, bro. Fuck you, pussy.
This doesn't go out for a couple days. It could be shaved by the time y'all listen to this.
Let's get this train back on the rails. All right, we're talking about Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So, can you give me an instance where you felt like someone was racist towards you?
Oh yeah, bro. There have been plenty of times. Like I went to school in Central PA, and just like little shit, like going to a Walmart there. It was just
because if I can interrupt you, I want people to understand that it still exists and is alive. You know.
Oh yeah, 100.
Right. I want people to like. I don't want. You know, we're talking about history, but I want some anecdotal things that people who are listening can be like, oh shit. This isn't, you know, because I'm assuming that most of my listeners are white. Mm-hmm. So I want them to be able to see it from your perspective.
Yeah. And I feel like because like I live in like Philly and, you know, just further up north, I don't see it as much. But like when I go like into Central PA, I don't even see it like that often there.
That's Pennsylvania. All right. Yeah. Fucking bumpkins out there.
My freshman year on like the wrestling squad or whatever, I had a dude, and just because I took him down, like he was like, "Man, you fucking nigger!" Like he was like, "Whoa,
really?"
Bro. Yeah, just like so. To me, when I see racism, it's always like a reactionary thing. You know, it's kind of like just that 2 parts: that disbelief of like, I can't believe I let myself go like this, or you know, I'm behind the curve. And then that other side, like, this man shouldn't be here, you know? They can't get beyond that.
So what's your reaction in that sort of situation?
Well, it's sort of kind of expected, but it's like that clip you told me to check out. It's like...
Yeah, let's talk about it. That movie is Miracle at St. Anna. It takes place in World War II. It's about a full black company of, I guess they're army. They're holding a town in Italy.
Right.
That's the whole premise of that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go. What do you want me to explain the clip, or do you want to talk about it?
No, you explain the clip, and I just jump in.
All right. The clip is this: that the black guys, there's like 6 of them from this battalion. They go into an ice cream shop. It's World War II. They're in uniform. They're by their base, and they go into the ice cream shop. I guess they won some sort of contest where they get free ice cream, or they call them ice slops. I don't even know what the fuck that is because it's not 1940, but I'm assuming that it's like a snow cone or something. And so they go in there, get it, and I think there's 4 German POWs sitting at a booth. They walk in, they don't think anything of it. Like, you know, they look over like, oh, okay. Then they go up to the counter and there's a white owner and he treats these guys like shit. He's like, you guys can go to the back. And what really bothers me about that moment is I don't know if that moment's real per se, but I know that moments like that are real in the sense of like there was a lot of dudes who fought in World War II that were black. And like they were saying, they were told that you're not allowed to fight with the white dudes until it got to the point where like we're almost out of white dudes. Well, then I guess we'll use the black dudes. Right. So it annoys me that like these dudes are, you know, like all the radical right is all about patriotism and, you know, like, you know, respect the soldiers and shit. But it's like in this moment, in this point in history, they're fighting for your freedom, quote unquote, and you're not giving them that respect. That bothers me, and that is so real. Yeah, and not even to sidetrack, but you could see like the differences on like you can still see there's a difference in how much freedom is allowed. Even the people that's protesting right now, you know, they're showing up with guns and the Confederate flag. Because they're white, dude. Yeah. Kaepernick kneeled, and they're just like, "Ooh, nah, that's too far."
Well, also, let's be honest for a minute with when we're going to the Corona shit. I mean, let's be completely honest. You don't really see too many. I mean, anybody of color in those stupid protests. I mean, it's so few. It's all really ridiculous white dudes. No, it's all white dudes and their white kids. It's like radical right. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. All it is Trump supporters, and you know, I mean, there's going to be a few. You know, that are, you know, black or, you know, Asian or Mexican or Indian or God knows what. But that's not most of them. I like the inclusion, but haven't seen one. Yeah, you really don't. They're white Karen-ass looking bitches. Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then, but yeah, I mean, they're, you know, you could probably find one of each of those for a Trump supporter, but it's all Trump supporters. It's all the far right hanging out doing these crazy protests that don't make any sense for them. For themselves, even have like all of their Republican people being like, what are you guys doing? That's a stupid. Dude, the irony of those protests where they're like, this shit isn't even real. And they're wearing a mask. It's like, is it not real? Like what is happening? Yeah. Those people are fucking, they've been, oh, yo, I just want to clarify this for the listeners. A lot of right-wing people like to say that the Republicans are the ones who freed the slaves, which is technically true, but there was a big party platform switch. So basically, the Democrats of today are the Republicans of old, and the Democrats of old are the Republicans of today. I just want to say that because they love that as a talking point. Like, hey, black guy, don't forget about that. We did that shit. Also, it's like, but you didn't. Also, don't forget your party did, but technically not. Don't forget, and there was more than just two parties hanging out back then. It was more than just two ideals being passed around as what might work. So it was, I think it was a little bit more of what they were trying to go for. I mean, obviously it led to civil war, but you know, it was over some stuff that so kind of deserves it. Let's get into that. People like to say that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. Evan, that video, if we could just play the little speech part of what Jefferson Davis said. Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederate States in the Civil War. So we can just... it was starting at 127 then till about what? Yeah, and that whenever the speech is done. Okay.
South in March 1861. Our new government, he said, was founded
Blaise, you got a
on
rape
slavery.
stare, bro.
Its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth
That's awesome.
The Negro is not equal to the white man.
I look like the dude from Full Metal Jacket. I'm looking through my eyebrows.
Is his natural and normal condition.
Dude, I don't understand why I can't get pussy.
But yeah, I have it pulled up on the screen right now. You guys were, you know, but do you want me to read it? You want me to read it for you? The Alexander Stevens one? Yeah. So he said, our new government was founded on slavery. Its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man.
God, I really hope this doesn't get clipped. That would be fucking terrible. Thank God.
It's not you reading it.
I know.
This is
I know. This is Alexander Stevens. I feel awful even reading, like saying it like that. It's such a weird way to put things.
Up. It's a weird outlook. But
that slavery submission to the submission to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. To even think that is fucking crazy.
Crazy. Yes,
I kind of go on the belief that all people are, you know, we're all humans, because that's kind of what I've been taught. You know, science says, you know, Bill Nye the Science Guy said it too. I don't know. We're all fucking human beings. I mean, you got teeth, you have nose and eyes. I mean, you smell apple pie probably very similar to how I smell it. I mean, that's just how it is. That's how it goes, dude. Like, I've never understood the whole, you know, even the race part of it, because that's, I think, the first thing that we've kind of as like a global community kind of stuck on, which doesn't really make any sense, because there is really no such thing as a race. We're all literally, we're 98% similar to a damn fish. So like
99.9% compatible to an ape.
Yeah, and that's and I mean, and it's just like, you know,
we got thumbs, dog.
Yeah, right, dude. You know, come on at me, Mr. Gorilla Man. You got no, your thumbs are stupid. But like, no, I mean, we're literally all the same, and I feel like the first thing that the problem is, and where racism comes from, is the idea that there even is a race. And I feel like that's
first of all, it's a taught behavior.
Yeah,
and second of all, it comes from the fact of, like what I said, is that they convince poor, non-landowning white people that they were better than their black slave counterpart. But in reality, they were the same. Now, it's important always to keep power, to keep people separate. Like it's actually genius. Because they understood that if these poor ass white people understand that they're not in a better position, that they're not, you know, gonna have a better life than their slave counterparts, the black slave and the poor white person might have gotten together, which would have overthrown their entire, you know, system. And it's been like that, and now we're still dealing with that mindset today. And the reason that we're still dealing with that mindset is because after the Civil War ended, about a couple of years, then the South started altering history books. They started saying shit like slaves liked being slaves. I'm not even kidding. They were like, we were good to the slaves. They were being annoying. It's like, what do you mean?
But because you get mad at the people that wrote history or the people that believe it? That's my thing. Like, who follows it on?
I actually, no. I don't think it's the people who believe it. I think it's the people who wrote it.
Yeah, you really can't get mad at the people who, you know, were taught it. Because, I mean, you know, let's go back even just 4 generations, you know, 50, 60 years, they're being taught that same shit in school. And they're, you know, you're taught something in school because it's supposed to be the truth, right? You have no reason to believe, especially growing up, that that's not the truth. And that's, I mean, even growing up, me as a kid, I'm sure Blaise did, because I'm sure your schooling wasn't too terribly different than mine. Some of the stuff was still like not exactly what we know now.
Dude, when you get to college, you're like, what?
Yeah, wait a minute, I don't remember that part.
In high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it's like. Is that you learn all this different shit. Like, they were like, yo, you like Chris Columbus? I'm like, yeah, dude, sailed the ocean blue, 1942, what's up? And they were like, he was a raper and a murderer. And I was like, what?
I don't remember that part. Like,
he's not a hero? Oh my God. You know? And that's what all of college was like. For like everybody. Yeah.
It's just like, it's so sad because, like, even with the racist groups, right? Like, the ones that get a chance to voice, like, yo, they're being racist to us. Like, you need some type of influence. That's why, like, we kind of talk about, you know, black people being oppressed more than Native Americans, who land we are still on, and like just fuck you to them every day.
You guys want a blanket? Because it's got SARS.
Hey, we got this really nice land, a little rocky. There's a couple cliffs, but it's cool. You're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. It's yours now. Oh, you want to? Nope, not allowed to move. It's yours.
You live in America, live in Montana, you go to college for free. That should forget us.
Don't forget about your great grandma.
But see, I mean, shit. It's that kind of stuff is still going on with that. We keep Native Americans, I mean, literally hold up in places and to work for themselves.
I make them lift
listen to hoofbeats. I'm like, where'd the horse go? No, that's a Joe Dirt reference.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long
myself.
time. Been seen that one in a long time.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do y'all feel about them pushing what's the kid, David Spade, to play Joe Exotic?
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah.
I could see that.
He's like perfect for that.
He's like a more well tamed version of Joe Exotic.
Dude, let's talk about Tiger King for a second. I know you watched that shit, bro. His husband killed himself, and then he had a funeral, and then Joe Exotic. First of all, if you didn't notice, he had that white thing in his collar like a priest. Wait a second, okay, hold up, all right, and then like the mom's front row, and he's like, dude, whenever I was sad, Travis would put his balls in my face, and everyone's like, what? Is this a funeral? It's like everyone's seeing his balls. It's like, dude, wait a second. Dude, imagine if I got married and then my wife died. Her name's Larissa, let's say, because that's a kind of a white name, right? So Larissa. And I'm like, dude, every time I got sad, Larissa would put a pussy in my face. Every time I'd be like, excuse me, dude. Rude, you know? Like,
Blaise G comedy's dead here. You're not supposed to say that shit.
Yeah.
But that's why Trump supporters are watching that. It's like, God damn, that's a good right there.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
he's speaking out for the people.
Yeah,
it's like, until you tell him he's gay. And they're like, wait a second. Gay. And he likes guns? It's like, yeah. He likes guns. He's gay. He's very Southern.
They be like, this equation ain't right. He's like, hold on, that was his brother. They be like, oh, all right, then that's okay. If you gay, but you like your brother, you ain't really gay. Like,
but let me get to this. I'm looking at this little graphic you sent me, Blaise. The timeline of Confederate symbols here. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. By
the way, why you pull them up? I'm just gonna say this: that my as like somebody who loves history and went to school first year and all that stuff, I think that those monuments should still exist, but in a museum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they're a part of our history. They don't need to be destroyed per se, but they should never be displayed in public parks because to me, to me, that displays racism and oppression more than anything else. Like, oh, yeah, you're going to vote today? Hold on. Look at Jefferson Davis. Like, what do you mean?
Not even that. Let's imagine you know, even for me, you know, being like 5'11", looking at a statue, I'm usually in awe if it's the first time I'm looking at it. It's like, holy shit, this big brass, you know, structure. I don't want, I mean, imagine a 3-year-old looking at something like that and then getting that idea of that.
Is there a statue of Rosa Parks?
No.
Because I don't know, because there should be.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Is there a statue of Malcolm X?
I doubt it.
There should be.
Bro, the only black figure.
Is there a statue of Bubba from Forrest Gump? There should be.
You know what we should do to the statues is like over them.
Rape them.
Okay, there is a Rosa Parks statue. That's actually pretty dope, actually.
There is.
Yeah, it's in the national. Yeah, it's actually in like a pretty good place too.
It's awesome, dude.
God. Yeah, she passed away in 2006, so
yeah, it was put together in 2013. It is a bronze sculpture, and it is human sized.
By the way,
it is fully life sized.
She wasn't the first black individual to refuse to move their seat. There was a bunch. Yep. There was like a movement. There was a bunch of them. She just happened to be the most polarizing, I guess. That story somehow, for whatever reason, became in that day, I guess you would say, viral. Right. But there was actually she's a part of a whole movement.
Yeah, you know what though? With that, like, I mean, as bad as that sounds, you know, saying that there was so many that were missed. I mean, that happens throughout history with everything. There's a lot. Even, you know, Amazon workers, you know, anybody who, you know, any kind of issue that you can think of in the last 30, 40 years is going to be the same way. But, you know, thank goodness that at least somebody was, you know, the face of that. And like, you know, it
starts to my belief throughout history has always been, you can only push people so far until they'll push back. So
Right.
actually, as a white dude, I'm thankful that the civil rights movement in general was peaceful on their part. On the black individual part, it was, besides the Black Panthers, which they were a little violent, but other than that, it was pretty peaceful. Which a violent thing is what I would have expected.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for the peaceful part of that, because a lot of what you can say revolutions, because to me that's sort of like a race revolution. That it was peaceful. A lot of revolutions are, coated with blood.
Yeah, they try to make you believe Thanksgiving was peaceful, and it really wasn't.
No.
At all.
He shows how to grow corn, and then we'll give you a blanket with SARS. What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, the callbacks to this shit.
Yeah, exactly, dude. For real though, that's what we were doing, So I just hope Americans in general understand that everyone here, like when people talk about slavery, my family's from Lithuania. They didn't come here until like 1900. So like my personal lineage has no ties to slavery or any of that shit. The Revolutionary War, Civil War, any of that. My family wasn't even here for that. But I'm here now, and I'm American. So
the argument is still like, even in like your family, you can't hold this against your family, I will say that, but the argument is always like, even if you come over here like Italians who came over, Irish people, like y'all still benefit from like, that white, supremacy or whatever that was fought for.
Yeah.
Unlike
they
the
didn't
Indian
when they
person.
came here, but they do now.
Yeah, like I have my family being from Israel, most of my dad's side.
Ew.
Yeah, that's like just as it's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, but like the Jewish people went through a whole bunch of shit. You had God knows how many different groups of people throughout Africa, white, black, mixed race, God knows what throughout history, just because they were from different places and they were just like, we're taking them. Asians. I mean, still, you have issues in China where people are taken.
A big misconception in American thinking is that the United States is the only country with slavery. But the truth is that every substantial empire in history was built on the back of slavery.
China still uses
every
it.
single one.
Turkey, they're enslaving Turkish people right now.
Yeah, the Uyghur people.
Everyone.
They keep
had
them.
Slaves. Greece, slaves, all of them. Egypt, slaves, obviously. Let my people go. We remember, Slaves.
Damn New Hopians, you bastards.
All the comedians of New Hope are slaves.
Yeah, we are, to the mic.
Oh.
That was a good one. Blaise G comedy. Get at him.
Mom, come here. Yes. No. So my whole point, and forever will be, at the end of the day, racism is a taught behavior, right? Whenever, and I'll tell you straight, like I have a nephew, he's 11. He's not racist. He's actually, I argued with him the other day about hip hop. He was like, the greatest rappers, it's like Juice WRLD, Tupac. I'm like, no, don't ever put Tupac in a group with mumble rappers, you piece of shit. But like, so he's down, he's good. He's all right. But racism is a taught behavior among people that hate other people for no other reason but to blame your problems on them.
And that's how they get you. They just like, we keep making you believe that cycle. We keep like benefiting. Like all these big business. And already is like doing that to the core, Anyone that has a lobbyist is doing that to the core. Like that.
Absolutely.
Nobody realized that doesn't make sense, having lobbyists in your political government. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that shit's whack. And I've said this since I took political science in college. I was like, if you ever want to change politics in the United States, this is my plan. The campaign to become president is only 3 months long. And you can accept no money from corporations. Meaning that the only people who will give you money are the people who believe in you. So if a CEO of a corporation wants to personally give someone money, that's fine. But the corporation itself can never give money, meaning that he has to truly believe in that candidate. Not what's best for the company, but him personally. Maybe he has the what's best for the company in mind, but the company itself will always have more money than a individual person, right?
Right.
So if you really want to change politics in America, you got to get money out of politics. There's a reason that 65% of Congress becomes a lobbyist.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking us. That's why.
And I think all these people that voted, like, even voted Trump in, you know, you look at, like, a lot of the bills that they're passing, these businesses that was pushing for Trump, they didn't think Trump policies were good. No, they just like, yo, he's going to save our dollars. You know, he's going to give us the least amount of tax money, you know, that they're going to take from us. And then it's just like, well, he's getting the poor people to believe in him. So that's further the poor people to keep being our workers, you know.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle has a bit about that where he goes to vote.
For me.
Yeah, he goes to vote, and everyone's like, Trump's going to go down to Washington and defend me. And he's like, you stupid motherfucker. He's going down there to defend me because Chappelle's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's going to look out for people with money.
100% agree with you, man. You ain't telling me why on this podcast yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we can. What other parts of racism have you seen personally? I guess I'll ask. Like, if you can give me like a specific story,
I think it all put it in perspective. Like when Trump first got elected, me and my boy Jose, we was walking down like our college like street or whatever, and this pickup truck drove up right past us, and he was like, "Go back to China." Now you hear the name Jose. He's Mexican, but he's a light-skinned Mexican, so they thought he was Chinese. And I looked at it and I was like, it's not even about
dude, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious, but it shows like...
Now imagine Jose in China.
Oh, craziest part, he went to study abroad in China the next semester.
Did he?
Yep.
There's Jose running down the Great Wall. I love it, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what's up. Dude, and that's the ignorance of white America right there.
Yeah, it's not even about a specific group. Before, they made it believe it was just the Mexicans, but everybody's like, nah, it's just like any race that's not white. Like
white America, I guess you could say scope changes, right? 9/11, it's Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then the economy starts to crash. They say it's Mexican immigrants.
Right.
And now it's obviously Chinese people. And what I'd like to remind Americans is that during World War II, when we were fighting Japan, we took Japanese Americans and put them in internment camps.
Yeah.
So let's not act like we're like innocent in all of this as like white dudes, you know?
Look how they use the coronavirus to purposely like target other races in the way of like, I'm not just saying like killing them or whatever, but starting off with the China disease, automatically isolate and make people mad at Chinese people.
I gotta be honest though, it came out that Trump's administration was calling it the Kung Flu, and that's funny.
Yeah, so
that's hilarious.
That is kind of funny, and I hate Donald Trump, so I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him that one. I'm gonna give him that one.
He's a guilty.
That's
pleasure.
Good. That's a good
guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you can use that in a joke. You guys hear about the new Kung Flu, and everyone's like, you know. But because Trump said it, or whoever was like, oh, this is so distasteful, is it? Because it's fucking hilarious. I mean, yes. Coming from the administration, it's not a joke. Coming from me, joke. You know, I get that part of it.
Trump should be a comedian after his time in office. He'll be a good one. I really believe it.
Yeah, and then you meet him afterwards and he grabs your dick or whatever. Yeah, but
hey, they'll make a comedy movie about his time in presidency. I'm sure it'll be hilarious.
Bro,
I wish I had the confidence of him, just to be like, yeah, I'm the best, and everyone's like, are ya? And I'm like, yeah, look at my numbers, but the numbers are bad. And I'm like, see?
Yeah, they're really good. Have you ever played golf?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know I did 4 picks, but
anyone else in this earth acted like Trump and had the confidence in Trump, they would have been assassinated on the street by now. That'd have been it. It'd have been no more talking. Imagine you bomb. You like, I had a great set. Comedians are like, yeah, we're gonna fuck this dude up. Like, that's it.
No, I mean, I you know, I've had that happen where I'm like, dude, I like killed, and then someone's like, yeah, and I'm like, what do you mean, yeah? Like, what? And then I listen to it, and I'm like, yeah, you right. But Trump doesn't have that, yeah, you right moment.
Well, because when he's listening to it, he's got like some weird carnival happening in his head, and it's...
Dude, imagine listening to a recording of you bombing, and you're like, dude, I killed, and everyone's like, no, you bombed. Really and you're like, I killed, and there was the most people at that show than had it ever been at any show ever. You would be like, wait, am I wrong here? Because this guy seems like to know what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Materials, knock jokes. And you're like, no one ever told this joke before. No one ever.
These are the best jokes. Yeah, I agree, dude. So do you feel that there was an uprising, quote unquote, and was there an uprising in racism when Trump got elected, in your opinion?
Nah, it was just like the racism. I feel like racism like plateau, right? It's always been there, always been at the same height. It's been throughout history, right? Now it's just about how much of it can be seen. And when Trump got elected, it was like, all right, buddy, like here we are, like those Jim Crow people. It was like we just gotta do it behind closed doors. But Trump became, they was like, oh, we're back in action now, you know?
Mexicans are rapists. We're all like, wait, what? Jose, is that true? He's like, no, dude. That's just like, I mean, there's rapists in every culture, every race, every religion. Like, that's just what it is. Yeah.
Oh, they like, if Trump, that was true, there's a few girls that I would have fucking, they rejected me and I would have been like, fuck it, time to be in my bag.
I got raped by a girl once.
Really? She was fat?
Yeah, I woke up and she was like sucking my dick and I was like, what? And then she was like, shh. And I was like, oh my God. I was wasted, by the way, blackout drunk. Well, not blackout.
I was just about to say that. That's drunk luck.
Dude. Yeah, no, but she was like, you know, a big lady. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you a big boy, so I don't know, man.
No.
I'm just kidding,
like
dude. I'm kidding.
Medium boy. No. I just want to put it in perspective. No, she was a big lady. If you're going to be mean about it, am a medium plus boy. Okay? She is a big lady being nice.
She's
okay,
like
so... No. Linebacker. She's an offensive lineman. She's Haloti Nada.
She's killing it, dude. This sounds good.
And I woke up and she was like sucking my dick. I was like, oh my God. And then she said, hold on. And then in that moment, I was like, well, you're already getting your dick sucked. You might as well, I guess, deal with it. And then she got on top of me and I didn't have the strength to push her off. So that was that.
You ain't had the strength because it was amazing, bro. Like, she can't be fat and bad at getting head, bro.
It was wet, dude. It was like... I was like, damn, dude, I'm stirring your mac and cheese, girl. Take my spoon.
That shit like a Go-Gurt.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You're exactly right.
Blaise went and told that story, but he didn't tell them how the girl looked. I mean, there's no reason to hide, bro. Like, when you got on this podcast, you knew what it was headed for.
Yeah,
dude. High history, baby. Go-Gurts and high history.
Yeah, high history. Good time. Yeah, but I feel like we actually covered a lot. If I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all are like so smart. I'm the whole time. I'm like, hell yeah, the fuck. Yo, y'all are like, but even Evan come out of left field like, well, there's street parties. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, dude. I mean, I hope that like we don't get on here and go like, what's the history? And then we ask you, and you're like, I don't know, and then we're like, we also don't know. That would be like terrible. Yeah.
I'm happy we just got on here. Like, those nerves with words, guys. Like, damn.
Fuck them.
Get up there. Just
No. Fuck them.
Hey, I will change my background fast.
Evan is the workhorse of that show. He carries the entire show. It's ridiculous.
I love nerve with words. I just like, they're great. Adam Nutter need it, like.
Yeah, he does. Yes.
Adam's great.
I forgot about Adam.
I can't.
Adam's gay.
Crazy. Yeah. Did you know? Did you know?
Breaking news.
Breaking news off of High History.
Thomas said that shit.
Oh, he'll see it. It'll be up on Drop 10 in a couple days.
Facts. Yeah. I'll send him just the clip.
We call him Neil Wood, but Adam call him Big Wood.
Neil, dude. Neil's herpes, bro.
Hey, well, that means Adam does too. So
he does.
He does. He jokes about it all the time. It's terrible.
Dude, there was a Patreon episode of Nerds with Words that I ruined by being wasted at John and Peter's once.
Yeah.
Because Adam was like eating food and I like walked up on the stage like, I don't have fries, dude. And I was like, wait, what? We're like filming. I'm like, fries. And then Neil was like, why don't you take your hat off? Because I'm balding, you know? Like my head's fighting two fronts from the front and the back. There's like a bridge on my head.
Oh, put it back on.
Yeah. What the fuck? Here, take some of this. Take some of this, man. We got you, dog.
Dude, it's just a part of life. It doesn't really bother me. It's a part of life. But so Neil was like, take your hat off. And I was like, pull your dick out. You know, because he has herpes like a fucking loser.
Oh, my God.
So, Neil, fuck you, huh?
But if I was being fair, I'd rather have herpes Blaise than go bald. I'm just being honest.
What? I don't have to ever tell
bro.
a girl I'm going bald. She can just find out and they're like, that's fine. But like, you can't have herpes, not tell someone, and then they just find out.
Well, put it this way: if you didn't have that hat on, you was going bald the way you are. Like girls would be like, "Oh," like even they find you attractive.
No, girls would be like, "Damn, gobble gobble."
Yeah, all the 50-year-old ones now, because they're gonna keep on remembering Fred Durst. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on, bro.
That was fucked up.
You know, and right, he's talking about all the girls gonna go gobble gobble. Yeah, don't need the fat ones, like you just said. They're the only ones going gobble gobble.
Whatever then. Looks like it's fat suck dicking for this guy.
Podcast turned into something real good. This is real good.
Listen,
bro, I'm just a fair man, bro.
I know.
No,
I'm gonna shave my head. It's fine.
Please don't, please.
I have to. What am I gonna do? Have a horseshoe? Are you joking?
Go for it, dude. Hulk Hogan.
Someone hits my hat off and I gotta run into the alley to put it back on? No, I'm just gonna have
a hat. Like,
I'm just gonna have it shaved.
He just dropped his cigarette on himself.
Yeah, did you see that?
Blaise, did you have anything else? You good?
No, I'm good. This is getting.
Josh, where can we find you on social media, all that good stuff?
Back here, hold on.
That's insane.
There's a cracker.
Where can I find you online? What's your social medias and everything?
You can find me on Believe in Josh on Instagram. That's Believe period the letter N period Josh. Joshua Dweh, DWEH on Facebook.
And you don't have any dates right now, but when his guys pay attention when his dates come out, I'm telling you, he's definitely worth seeing.
Bro, I appreciate it, and Blaise, you just as much of a pleasure, bro. I take so much pride in our friendship, bro. You the man, seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
Word up,
Evan, producer, Evan.
Yeah, producer Evan and NWW. That's on everything. Yep. And you guys,
Josh, thank you so much, dude.
Thank you.
Everyone else listening, go to drop10.com. Check out the other shows. Usually there's dates there with shows that the Drop 10 production crew puts on, and they're great. You should go to them when you see them. But while we're in lockdown, listen to podcasts just like this. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you all.
Peace.
This has been a Drop 10 Media Production.